Every time I talk to James, it's just either that's just his demeanor.
That's the way it is.
It's like,
You came in the trash slow looking for a washing machine.
yeah. Did you show where it is?
Please go ahead. This is what I'm looking
Okay, let's see who's in attendance this morning. Amber. Amber, you've been able to get on Cengage, haven't you? And you gotta have first assignment completed, chapter 1. I tried to run some of those off. The reason I'm doing this, so many people, a lot of people are having trouble signing in. Now, Amber, is it gonna let you go over and work on that some more, or
Yeah.
it'll give you a higher percent? Okay, is Virgo Alexander here?
Here.
Okay, now you went in and got 94%. It's not bad, is it? That's an A on the first assignment. So it tells me what you got on those. And how about Safe? I think he's live streaming. Safe, you're here. You went in and got 95.68%. What? Still working on it? You want 100%? Okay, good. Okay. All right. And is Ryan here? Ryan, you're up to 93.8%. You're still working on it.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, these folks have been on Cengage, obviously. They've been working on their homework, obviously. Now, some of you may not even have your book for Cengage yet. Has anybody tried to get on Cengage and you've had trouble? I've got a bunch of emails, whereas we have trouble. I got a couple of emails. Things I put on screen last week didn't even show up. The only thing that showed up was a picture of the speaker here and a little bit of the podium, but of course they could hear me, but they couldn't see the PowerPoint or anything. Well, that's straightened out now. You'll be able to see whatever the class sees on PowerPoint solutions, notes, or whatever. Okay, what did I get with the code? Robert. Alexandra. Is Alexandra here? Safe is here. Matthew Crawford. Hello. Clayton?
Yeah.
What are you doing in accounting principal? What are you doing in accounting principal?
He's doing the drill.
No, man, drill starts at 11 o'clock. Thanks for being an hour and a half early, though.
I'll see it.
All right, see you at 11. Okay. Clayton is from the Ukraine.
So they're 5
What?
So they're 5 hours.
Yeah, well, I'm sure they're way ahead. Okay, let me see who came in now. Let's see. Did Alexander come in? Matthew Crawford, make it in. Orlando or something similar to that. HMADOU. You're here, okay. Elizabeth. Right here. Alexander Fanning. Justin Fox. Margot. Okay, Harper. Paul Morris. Ryan? Dylan or Dylan? Is it Dylan or not? Dylan. Lesha? Lesha? Colton? Kelly? Johnny? Are they not here? Jeffrey? Okay, Sam's, S-A-M-S, Sam's.
Brown, I can't remember.
Yeah, Robert, I didn't catch that.
Okay.
You have got to start to recognize. McKinley? Jacob? Joshua? Corey? Levi? Some of these folks have not been here, period. I'm gonna put out an early alert on them unless I hear from them, so forth. All right, how many of you do not have a textbook yet? How many of you do not?
I have one.
Got yours yet? Got your Cengage key?
It's on the computer. Oh, it's on the computer.
Got your Cengage key?
I just got it.
What?
I just got it.
Got
Yeah.
one. Plans for one, order to
Yeah. I mean, that's really-
Okay. I know that it's open.
Mine's- Actually, I don't think I got it.
Okay, a good part of you have them, that's good, and, I just worry about you getting started late or getting way behind if you don't have a book. I know some of you had holdups that you can't help, but we have to move on. And, move on, we will. I felt like we've got a slow start, but we'll be okay. We have to cover 10 chapters this semester. And, okay, we'll get it done. All right, as I mentioned, the video live streaming is better. I don't think this class is supposed to be live streamed anyway, but it will be on Moodle, if you need to go back and look at it and so forth. All right, so what do we look at in chapter 1? The accounting profession. And we looked at a little bit of terminology, I guess, in the first chapter. But we moved up to the important part of the first chapter, and that's the accounting equation. And the accounting equation goes with you throughout your accounting life, maybe just for a year or a semester or what have you. Then we looked at the statements, the balance sheet, the income statement, so on. Now, in your homework, I believe it covered all that. It covered the accounting equation, didn't it? All right, and then you had the statements to do, a balance sheet, the income statement, and owner's equity statement. Okay, so that's what hit you in the homework on chapter 1. But we need to review some things similar to that in chapter 1 and try to wrap it up. Now, we're going to go to a problem in chapter 1. And since you don't have it on the Cengage, I'm going to give you the information for a couple of problems. Working statement. Last year we used a workbook. Now on Cengage we did a balance sheet. Did it give you the form? Yeah. We had everything ready for it. Okay. Now, if you have a textbook, please get it out. Okay, on this handout I gave you a couple of problems. I want you to turn to the third sheet. Third sheet. That's the kind of equation. There's a whole lot of transactions. We call these transactions. All right. And I borrowed one of the, okay. Okay. No, that's your book. That's your book. That's yours with me? Okay. So, okay. Still going? Well, wasn't enough to go around, I don't think you have one of these tables. Everybody take care of it, too, I think. I think you can see above two. I'm in front of one of these. I'm sure you will, someone this morning.
Yeah, it's all right.
Okay, so everybody can see at least a book now, okay? Now, let's go to, well, that's a continuum problem, but that's okay. I really didn't want a continuum problem. Okay, in your book, what page is this problem on? Page what? Okay, it's got a continuum problem. Okay, that's okay. All right. Now that's the longest problem in chapter 1. Still a lot of exercises we didn't do, and we're jumping right into the hardest thing in the chapter. All right. Now, let me bring this continuum problem up here. Now you're going to look at the answers as we do that a little faster. So just a bunch of those kind of equations. A bunch of B problems. If you work problems from the book, you have to just draw your forms, or I don't know if Cengage will let you print any or not. All right. Here are your headings. Under assets, we have cash, accounts receivable, supplies. Liability is just a payable. And under owner's equity, we have capital and drawing, and then of course fees earned. But you can see we have a bunch of expenses also on the form that you have. And I guess we have to see this in two parts here. Here's all the expenses. But going back, and we're going to look at these transaction by transaction. And when you get on Cengage, maybe it'll be easier for you when you do that one on Cengage. Okay, now they give you a paragraph there and instructions. Indicate the effect of each transaction in the balance after each transaction. All right, we deposited $4,000 in a checking account. Okay, now what two things does that increase?
Cash.
All right, the increase is cash under assets. That's on the left side of the equation. What does it do on the right side of the equation?
This is capital on,
All right, now I want you to write these in as we go along, and I'll turn you loose to do some on your own. But right here, if I get it down just right, we've got 4,000 under cash and 4,000 under Smith Capital. Goes two places. You had nothing to add to. All right. Now the next transaction received 3,500 from a local radio station for serving as the guest disc jockey. We received money. So where does that go?
Cash.
Under cash, one place, and under where else?
Either.
Fees earned. All right. So let's jot that one down. Now it tells you to bring down the balance each time. I can't get this thing to cooperate with me too well. There we go. All right. Bring down your totals each time. Cash is 7,500. Capital is 4,000. Fees earned is 3,500. 4,000 plus 35 has to equal 75. All right, your right side has to equal your left side. The left side is just assets. Okay, now that's two transactions. You can see why in high school you heard of double entry, because it affects double, two items. Okay, if we move on down to number 3, we agreed to share an office place. All right, they'll pay 1/4 the rent. In addition, they agreed to pay a portion of the wages of the receptions and to pay 1/4 utilities. Paid $800 for the rent of the office. We paid rent, $800. What two places? Cash goes out, it affects cash. What else?
Office rent
Office
expense.
rent expenses.
All right. And under rent expense. All right. Take out your 800 from the 75, and that leaves 67. You still have 4 under capital. You still have 35 under fees earned. Then I gotta go all the way down here to the other half and find you the $800 for office rent expense. Okay. Now, I'm gonna turn you loose with the 4th, the 6th, and the 8th. See what you can take a minute. You're sitting with somebody, so you're sitting with somebody, work together. Do the next 3 on your own.
we still have it. I think we have to leave the street.
Oh, that's cash.
The rest by the state, so you don't get paid off, whereas this is bank expense. But you get $300 worth of supplies.
We pay $100 within 7 days. The remaining runs back fee.
Subtract.
Or just 100 for the cash.
I guess that was easy.
But 350.
We would pay $100.
That would be cheap. Advertising. Like now.
Yeah. So I guess we would have $100 off the.
I feel like,
We're
why
not
don't you just get the supplies up front, then what? I mean, that was just paid So we just go down to 10 days, like the 16th, you subtract that $100.
I guess it was-
Yeah, but I wasn't worried about that. Yeah, this is it's the 13th paid city office. So this is 350. How much?
Yes.
Not really.
This next one's free.
Okay.
Cash.
I just know.
Yes.
If you're online, I hope you can follow along with this. Since you don't have the papers, you would have to draw your own. You'd have to draw these headings.
Yeah, you go. Yeah, you can change it. Not sure what that works out.
565.
We got three, you take the 350 out of cash.
What, supplies?
Yeah, accounts payable.
Okay. Now, on the one on supplies, folks, what are we buying? We're buying what? And put it under supplies, 350. Did you pay for any of it?
No.
No. How much do you owe?
350.
The whole thing. So if you owe something, where's it go?
Accounts payable.
Yeah, they just tried to confuse you there by splitting it up. They can pay a penny every day of the year. Well, dollar every day of the year, they paid up. All right, we're gonna get caught up on these three. All right. And the first one was purchase supplies, I suppose. Now, when you purchase supplies of how much? All right, then you're gonna put it under supplies right here, 350. And you're gonna put it under accounts payable, 350. And you're going to add and bring down all your totals, 6,700, 350, 350, 4,000, 3,500. And then, of course, we got the expenses. And any day, the accounting equation has to still equal after every transaction. All right, that did not affect expenses, so I don't have to look there. All right. Now, we paid $500 to a local radio station to advertise. So that comes out of what?
Advertising expense
Out of minus what?
minus the advertising.
No, that's a plus. Well, it's a minus to capital. It's confusing. But first off, it's a minus to cash, isn't it? Minus to cash, and then under advertising expense. All right, then we paid $675 to a local electronics store for renting digital recording equipment. Well, we know that has to come out of what?
Cash.
All right. And then it comes out of, where's it go on the other side?
Equipment rent expense.
Okay, so here's your accounting equation. At this point in time, we have cash of 5525. We have supplies. We have accounts payable. We have capital, and we have revenue. I'll show you the expenses in a minute. So please get it straight down to this point. Any question down to this point in time? All right, let's look at the expenses. All right, we got down to what? Equipment, rent expense. Now, it is showing that as a minus because it's a minus to capital. Okay. Revenue or fees earned is a plus to capital. Okay, let's continue and do the next three, the 12th, the 13th, the 16th. The 12th, the 13th, the 16th. Here's your totals at this point in time. If you need these totals, 800, 675, 500.
So now we're paying. So we're paying $100.
You take out $100 from calendar. Take $100 out of that. Extra pay. Yeah, this is free. Yeah.
Still more for this year.
Yeah, I don't know if that's this actually was 616. Code transfer. Or $300. Also add that.
because we were answering charity calls.
Questions, raise your hand.
Do we stop at the first 30? This next one, section. It's the same thing as the last one.
No, there's 6:30 balance.
So that would go into the.
I want to finish it, but take another sheet, but. Squeezing.
Yeah. I can.
I want to call.
Okay. Just one. Always have to have like. So you always have to have the internals on the side. That thousand. It's a lot of numbers. Right. That develops his team state.
That's it, right? Okay, just gonna show. You know you ain't getting it. Okay. I got you.
Keep track of everything.
Oh, $400.
Oh. You just.
Five, six, six, five.
These are that thing you had actually works.
All right, let's see how we're doing on these three. We paid $350 to Cool Music for the use of the current music demos to make various music sets. Well, we know 350 is a minus to what?
Oh, cash.
Yeah, we're on the 12th, aren't we?
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna take 350 out of cash, and where's the 350 go again? All right, do we have a music expense up there? All right, we can make an expense title for anything we want. So take it out of cash and put it under music. That's the first one. We're gonna move on to get all these done. All right, we paid city office supplies 100 on account. That's a minus to what? And also a minus to what?
Cash.
That's just like paying your telephone bill. That's a minus to your cash and a minus to what you owe for your telephone bill. So, all right, down to this point, minus 100 cash, minus 100 accounts payable. And make sure you have your balances brought down each time. $5,075. All right, 350, 250, 4,000, 3,500. Then, of course, your expenses. Now, the next one, all right, we received $300 from a dentist for providing 2 music sets for the dentist to play to his patients. We received 300. So what do you do to that 300?
Just in cash.
You add it, don't you? See, a lot of accounting is connected with cash. Cash is coming in or cash is going out. But then you got to worry about the other half. Now, where does the 300 go to now? We earned some money, and that's where it goes. Okay, so that's the point we're down to now. And I'll come around probably and look at each of yours to see if you're keeping it in good order here. All right, now let's go and do the next 3 or 4.
So this is just for utility costs. This is unrelated to like our. This is just.
You're not doing what I said to do. When you break down the totals in the chart,
Not like each time, like, now it's like.
let's see, go to the minute. Now, if you get beyond the 30 there, I guess, I just Xerox another page, so I want you to squeeze it in down to the bottom, all those 30s, whatever. Squeeze it in the bottom of this page. Finish it up.
So I'm just doing these first. And I'm just gonna add all of them. These are all expenses.
I read them before I started.
All right. That makes sense now.
Right, I'm trying to do that. I was trying to make sure that Alex.
That's fine.
Yeah, basically, yeah, they're, yeah. They're, yeah, so that's
Got it. Oh, it's wages. Wages expenses, you guys. It's. That's right. Utilities. Slap. Also. Yeah, that was good.
Well, how about that $1,000? How about that $1,000? Where do we put it? Accounts receivable because it's owed to us, and we also put it under what?
He's earned.
All right. Here's your totals after that transaction. Now, we are accrual basis of accounting. There's a cash basis, which we don't discuss much. We discuss the accrual basis. And when we earn money, we record it as earned, even though somebody owes it to us. It's still income. When we incur expenses, we record it also, even though they were on accounts payable. That's the accrual basis of accounting. All right, the next part is receive 500 for serving as the disc jockey for a cancer charity. All right, now that 500 you're going to put under what? And also under? All right, you see, both went under fees earned on accounts receivable and cash. They're both assets. Cash and accounts receivable are both assets. We'll get our money later. If not, we'll write it off as a bad debt later. All right, we paid $240 to Galaxy Music for the use of its library of music demos. That goes under a minus to what? And a minus to what on the other side? All right. And then we received $900 for serving as a PS disc jockey for a local club's monthly dance. And where are you going to put that 900?
Cash.
All right, and where else?
He's earned.
Okay, so those transactions were a whole lot about making money. All right. And whether we got it in cash or whether we got it on account. So bring everything up to date. We're hanging your balances down each time. All right, when you get that done, try to squeeze in these last transactions at the bottom of that page and draw your own little lines if you need to. Maybe I can squeeze all those intervals out of this truck. I would squeeze those in plus bring down your balances.
I think you're right. I was
Two.
Because he can pay his life by sometimes. That's carries what we want to get.
It says that he took the last one right here, right? It's like he withdrew $500 cash.
Right.
So you minus it from cash, and then I minus it
Exactly.
on his capital.
Let's see. Drawing.
Drawing.
Put it
Okay,
in drawing.
gotcha.
If we can't fit it all on the bottom, can I bring like the last one?
Bring it to the top or just add on a sheet of paper or whatever you need to do.
So let's bring it to the top. It's only got one.
Yeah. Used $180.
Oh, well. Oh, too late now.
For a penny for a pound. Yeah, just add another sheet of paper, take it off, try to squeeze it all in. I know it's gonna have a lot of room. You're gonna need all these balances. You'll see in a few moments, you'll need all the balances. Okay, the next two transactions, we paid out what? What happened on the, first 30, we, paid for, reception wages? And then we paid utilities, so we take that out of what? What do we take them out of? Oops. I think I went too far there, way too far. That was 400 and 300, correct? All right, bring down your balances. There's the 400 to 300. And on the other side, where we put the 400? Was there a wage expense? All right, then on the other side, where we put the 300, was there a utility expense? All right. Okay, we got 4 to go, so let's do one more. Determine that the cost of supplies on hand was 170. Now listen to this one. Now this will be explained better in chapter 3 or 4. We pay for some things in advance. We receive money in advance. But we pay for supplies in advance before we use them. All right. Now, had we recorded supplies expense from the get-go, then we still had some left at the end. That'd be another way of doing it. But look at supplies though. It tells you you have 170 left. You gotta take out 180. That's what you use. That's your expense. So it goes to supplies expense on the other side. And that leaves you a balance of 170. That's all you've got left, and that's what you should have. Okay?
Is there vegetables?
To the left. Okay, we're getting there, okay? The next 30 we paid for miscellaneous expense. That's a minus to cash. And also over on your expense side. Then we paid $1,000 royalties. Now that's a minus to cash, but did you have a royalty expense on the other part? Did you have a royalty expense? The what? Music expense. Okay, yeah. All right, now the owner took out what? $500 for personal use? All right, so it's a minus to cash, but we put it under withdrawing. It will be a minus to capital when you do the statement. But right now, it's under withdrawals. So here are your final balances on your assets. So please get these final balances. You'll need these final balances in a minute, so please jot them down. I'm going to take you over to the balances under the expenses. Make sure you got cash, $39.20. Accounts receivable, 1,000. Supplies, 170. What's the 250? All right, 250 is accounts payable, 4,000 is the capital, 500 is the drawing, and 6,200 is the revenue. All right, now let's look at the expenses. All right, you had $1,590 under what expense? Music expense, 800 under what expense? All right, 675 under what expense? Equipment, 500 under. Advertising expense, 400 under. And 300 under. And I know that 180 is supplies. Now, what's this balance? What's the 415? What's the 415 balance?
Miscellaneous expense.
Is it miscellaneous? I mean, I can scroll up here at the top, but I figured somebody will speak up. All right, so we need these totals. All right. We need these final totals. So we got the final totals. Okay. Final totals, guys.
Yeah, you need it on accounts payable,
Oh, that's where I got it. I got a letter. This.
because the only one that you take as is supply expenses.
All right. Now, what goes on an income statement, folks? What goes on an income statement? What is your income on this problem?
I guess fees earned.
Fees earned. Do you have a lot of expenses?
Yes.
All right, now let me show you briefly here what it looks like on an income statement. All right, see what it looks like? Fees earned in the right column and expenses in the left column. Now your net income is going to be 1340, isn't it? All right. Now you saw it. Let's put it on a form now. You've got a page. No, that's not it. Income statement. Find the income statement. And you can do it from these final entries. You'll need these, you'll need all these expenses, and you'll need fees earned. That's your income statement. We want to know how much money we made for the month. That doesn't mean we got all that money in cash. We still got some out there where people owe us.
Can you show us the income statement?
What?
Can you show us the income statement?
Real quick.
I'm just trying to make sure.
Make sure your headings and make sure your revenue's on the right and your expenses on the left. Subtract and give me a net income of $1,340. This is just practice for your own good before we hit it in chapter 2. Some of you have already got a good start. Some of you haven't started. Some of you have all flies. This is the hardest problem in the chapter. If you can do it, you got chapter 1 made.
Well, I'm just, that's how you have to. You gotta jump line.
Try that apart if you want to. You try those pages apart. Try them apart if you want to live so much.
You gotta remember what to put your dollars.
I got the answer yet? Now, if you were smart, you would have saved yourself some adding. Those expenses add up to be 4860. All right. So now I'm gonna leave this up here, okay? Got your dollar marks, got your double lines, got your 3 parts of a heading, and you've done the income statement. Dollar marks, lines. Got it? All right. Now, you're not going to have time to do this, but I want you to look at it. Now, here's an owner's equity statement. Now, owner's equity, when you take and add, well, you can start out with that beginning capital if you want, or you're adding, all right, you add net income and subtract drawing, and that will give you this ending balance. Now, we could have went up here and added these expenses up, taking it away from revenue, and then take out drawing, and we'd have ending capital here. So your ending capital is going to end up being. So why am I telling you this? All right. We're running out of time. So I want you to take these papers you have with you and finish this owner's equity statement by Thursday, beginning of class, of course. And I want you to finish the balance sheet. Now, you know what will be on the balance sheet: the assets, the liabilities, and the owner's equity. All right. Anyhow, I want you to do those by Thursday. Hope you get your Cengage book by Thursday. I hope you get in work on the Cengage homework by Thursday. And read chapter 2. So you've got a lot to do. So I've got time to tell you a real quick story. Okay? Okay, the other day I told you didn't listen and do things the way you always do. Do any of you ever assume anything? You assume, can you go wrong when you assume stuff? All right. You can go way wrong when you assume, can't you? So, I hope you're assuming you're getting A out of this course and you prove it to me that you want it. But let me tell you a real quick story on assume. I gotta tell this from a friend of mine. It happened to a friend, not to me. All right. This friend of mine, this is his story. He got up one morning, it was his birthday. He went downstairs and his wife didn't wish him happy birthday. And his kids didn't wish him happy birthday. So he went to work pretty sad. All right, when he got to work, his secretary, good morning, boss, happy birthday. She remembered, that made him feel pretty good. About lunchtime, she said, let's go out and eat, it's your birthday. He said, okay, we'll go out, have lunch somewhere. So he was just glad somebody remembered his birthday. So they went out and ate. On the way back to the office, she says, my apartment's just down here, down the street. Would you like to go up for a drink real quick? It's your birthday. He gets to think, yeah, it's my birthday. Yeah, I'll go up, we'll have a drink. All right. Now this is where assuming gets you in trouble. They went up and had a drink. A few minutes later, she said, do you mind if I go to the bedroom and slip into something more comfortable? Boy, am I assuming. I said, go right ahead. Okay. About 5 minutes later, here she came out of the bedroom. Guess who was in the bedroom with me? My wife and my kids and people from the office. And I was assuming. So anyway, the bottom of the story is, here she come out of the bedroom with my wife and kids wishing me happy birthday, and there I sat with nothing on but my socks. See you all Thursday.
I think we got family therapy.
That's all right. I figured you were.
Early bird.
Better early than late.
It's